good morning, everybody. I hope your day is off to an awesome start. Today, we're going to share with you some tips and tricks on expanding your sphere of influence. So I know you all have a sphere. You might not know it, but I know you all do. And we're going to kind of talk through some of that. I'm just going to start by introducing myself. I'm Candy Dykeman. Obviously, I'm with Century 21 Atwood out of the Mankato office. And a little bit about me. I've been in real estate for about 10 years. 10 years. I guess that's what it is. I was trying to think if it was more than that, but it's not. Anyways, been top producer for Century 21 in Minnesota for the past 3 years, earning double centurion for the last 3+, I think that is right. And I've already achieved it for this year. So I've met my goal this year already, which is kind of early to do that, but I did. Let's see here. I help about 80 families annually move in and out of their houses. 33 million in production is about my normal that I try to aim for. And this year I have a goal to be the top 50th with AGC. Right now I'm sitting at 51. So that number can go up or down, but I'm excited for that and we'll see where I land. I also have with me a little co-host here. Who are you?
I am Chad Zimke, a newbie, but I'm with Century 21 Atwood, also out of Mankato. I've been in real estate for 6-7 years with my father-in-law who passed away, and Candy had always been in my sphere, I guess, a little bit, since we're talking about that. And she got me to come on with Century 21 here in Mankato. And so it's my first year as having my own license. What did I start? March? I think so. And so I'm super excited to keep learning real estate. I'm on track to do 5 million in production this year. And I really got to thank Candy for helping me get started with that. Honestly, I don't think I would have had anything without it. So
you're doing awesome. Good job. You're good. You're good. Okay, so when I first started real estate, I really realized that selling homes it's way more about houses. It's about the people and it's about the experience. Just kind of think of all the salespeople that you've ever encountered. Do you remember the person that sold you that sweater? Do you remember that person that sold you a car? Probably not, unless they continue to reach out to you and make it a good experience. So today, what Chad and I are going to talk about is just sharing how to take your sphere of influence and turn it into a powerhouse to set you up for success. All right, so we're going to get started today by our first topic is going to be covering the top of mind with your past clients. So I personally don't really like to say past clients because I think once a client, they are always going to be your clients, right? They only become past clients if they never work with you again. And that's on you. So we're going to teach you ways to stay on top of them. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is when I first started real estate, I went to a broker that I was with and I said, all right, how do you keep track of all your clients? And she literally picked up her phone and said, my phone in here. And I said, okay, I can do that. I have a phone and I have space up here. Well, that's pretty easy when you have 5, 10, 15 clients, but after a while, up here becomes a pretty scary place and you don't want to stay up here because information comes in and information leaves. So having a place to put all of your contacts is so important. So Chad, what do you think is the best CRM, which is a client relationship management program? That's kind of what I call it.
Well, my years with my father-in-law in real estate was up here and it didn't work. So when I first started, one of your first challenges, so I'm with the mentor program with Candy this year. And one of the first challenges that she gave us was to what a sphere of influence was. And she said, pull your phone out, open your contacts. How many people do you have in your phone? And I went down to the bottom. You go all the way down and it tells you how many people you have.
Yep.
Right?
If you have an iPhone, you can do that.
Yeah. And I had like 1,100 people. I was like, well, I guess that's how many people
I
didn't know.
Yeah.
So Moxie, which Century 21 works with, right? Moxie.
Yep.
I uploaded all those people to Moxie and that's my start.
All right. Perfect. So I didn't think Chad was going to answer it that way, but I would say that the best system to use, you guys, is whatever you are going to use.
Well, that's a good one.
But you really gave the the answer I was going to give, and that was to use the Moxie Engage that Century21 provides to you. It's free, you guys, so go ahead and use that. Put all your contacts in there. It's a great way to keep them organized and updated. But again, if you don't want to use the Moxie Engage, I don't care if it's a spreadsheet, but you have to have one. Don't learn the hard way like I did, and probably 3/4 of the way most agents learn is they think they're going to keep track. They think they're going to know who they worked with 6 months ago, and you really don't. It's just a great way to keep track of home anniversaries, and you want to celebrate those home anniversaries, you guys. I celebrate a year. I celebrate every single year for people. So if people have been in their houses for 10 years now, some of my first clients, they still get something from me on their house anniversary. Most important for me. It's a great way to keep track of your birthdays. It makes it easy to start any email drips that you might want to do. Again, if you're going to host an event, or, maybe interest rates change and you want to let everybody know about it, it's just a great way. You can easily go in and click the people that you want to send an email to, and voila, it goes out in a one-step process. It's also super important to be sending out those monthly market updates, home tips, community events, anything that you want to share with your clients. You can go right to your CRM, to your Excel spreadsheet, whatever that process is for you, and make it very easily to do. So a couple of things like what I do for my new owners. If I sold them a house today, I would call them tomorrow morning and ask them, how was your first night in your new house? You guys, it's like I gave them champagne. They're just like, I can't believe you called me. That is so awesome. And 9 times out of 10, it's good. Sometimes you'll hear funny stories. Oh, we couldn't figure out how to turn the light off, or there was a funny noise, whatever it might be. But you're just here to hear those stories. And then I call them again 3 days later. Same thing. How is the unpacking going? I call them at a week. And then after that, they get scheduled out a little bit further. I can do a month, I do 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then the year. And then on their year anniversary, again, these are just ideas that I do. You can be you and do what you want to do, but I send them a video. I pick up my phone, do a little selfie, hey, can you believe you've been in your house for 1 year already? And I get a comment back every single video. No one ever doesn't reply back to me. And then I personally also send them it's just the smallest thing, you guys, but I send them some brownies on their anniversary. So they're getting that on their day, and it says, congratulations on being in your house 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and it just goes on. So that's a great way to use my CRM as well. Let's see here. What are some other things we want to share? So often, I know when I first started, and I do get coaching from Tom Ferry, and it's a constant thing of, who are you calling? Who are you calling? What are you calling about? What are you saying? And I think that's a hard thing to know is, where do I start? Who do I call? Who are the important ones? So every day you have to make phone calls, and you're not going to be able to reach out to people and keep in touch with them if you're not touching them. So one suggestion that I have is I take my client base and I do A and Z, and then I do B and Y, and I do C and X, because you probably have a lot of A's and not very many Z's, right? You probably have a lot of B's, not very many Y's. So you might think it's going to be overwhelming, but it's not if you do the alphabetical backwards. If you're not quite following that, just let me know. I'm happy to answer that for you. But some simple things that you're going to call them about is, how's the home? How do you like your house? Now, that could be a loaded question, right? What if they don't like it? Yeah. But I've never had that. Most people love their new house that they're in. You ask them about how their family is. Maybe your past note said that they were having a baby. Maybe they had a baby or were pregnant when they first moved in, and now you want to check in and see how that baby's doing. So these are just great ways you're going to go into your CRM after you call them and say, hey, Mary, how's new little Johnny? And they just used to sit and talk about little Johnny. You're going to make notes in your CRM. So the next time you call them, you're going to say, oh, looked like he was, about walking. Did he ever start walking? Or maybe he was going off to preschool, or, you're not going to wait that long, but I mean, a different scenario. But you want to make sure you have the notes in your CRM so that when the next time you call them, you just pull that name up and you say, oh, these are the things that we talked about.
I always use the example of a doctor. You go to the doctor and they talk to you like they've known you.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like they don't know you. They have a lot of clients.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, hey, how's your wife Taylor doing? She had a baby 6 months ago. They look at their notes, right?
Absolutely.
And they sound super professional. So I've always used that example, and goes right with what you
That's
said.
good. Yep, they have a chart. Look at it as a chart. I like that.
Yeah.
Some other things that you might call these clients for are maybe just a home value update. If they've been in their house 3 to 5 years, that's a great time to call them and just say, hey, do you happen to know what your home value is? They may say, no, I really don't. What is it? You're not trying to sell their house, but you're just being informative. For my new clients, what I do is in the seasons, I will call them with just a 1 or 2 maintenance tips. Just say, because they're brand new homeowners, they don't know when to change that filter. They don't know when to change their smoke alarms. You can tell them all this stuff ahead of time. They don't remember. So I kind of follow up with them. It's another way to touch them and just say, just reminder, make sure you're changing your furnace filters. Make sure you're, in the fall, you want to, clean out your gutters, whatever that might be. Some of the things that you might want to talk to them about is if there's a house that's sold in their neighborhood, it's a great idea to call them and just say, hey, did you see that house 3 doors down at 123 Main Street that sold? It sold for, $30,000 over what you paid. What do you think your house might be worth? Just a good time to kind of check in. And then also, it's okay to call your clients and ask them for referrals. Chad has a goal to meet by the end of the year. He should be calling his clients or his sphere and saying, hey, I want to sell 1 more house this year. Do you have a referral for me? It's okay to ask referrals.
I did say it to my brother and my sister last night.
All right. Well, good job. Expand a little wider.
I know. You know anybody?
Another good idea is when you are hosting open houses, go into your CRM and send it out to everybody in your sphere. Now, they might not be looking for a house, but maybe they're going to share it with somebody else that with their sphere, or in the break room at work. Somebody talks about looking for a new bedroom. They just had a baby and now they're, outgrowing their house, and of someone that has a open house coming up. Let them know about that. So those are just some great ideas on how to stay in touch with your past clients, to keep yourself top of mind. Any questions out there? We're good. Anything you want to add on that part of it?
You're doing a great job.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's see here. Chad, tell our first meeting that we did when I said I want you to reach out to your sphere. You already shared that part, but what did you do that actually got you business?
My letter that I sent. Yeah, so I had a letter written up, and it was more of like an announcement and I sent it to my wedding list. I went all the way back 7 years to I asked my wife, Taylor, can you send me our wedding address list for invites? And she sent it over, and it was quite a list, like 350, 375, something like that. And I wrote a letter, 1-page letter, and I put 3 business cards in there. And I just told them like 7 ways they could help me grow my business in real estate, whether that's them buying or selling, buying an investment property, referral. But I put 3 business cards in there, and I said, 1 for you, 1 for your spouse, and give 1 away to a friend that's looking to buy or sell. And at that time, I had 1 sale, and it was my own house that I fixed up.
A sale's a sale.
Yeah. And that bolstered my year so far. I got so many calls, and then 1 bought and sold, and they told a friend that they work with, and they bought and sold. So that snowball of the sphere, I could really feel grow.
Yes, that's awesome.
So I think that was the one thing that got me where I am for my first 8 months.
Yeah. And we had talked about that in our mentoring meeting of, how do you get started? So if you're a newer agent out there, that's a great way to do it. Just tell everybody you're a realtor. We aren't secret agents. We want to sell. So you gotta tell everybody that you are an agent.
They forgot that is my fault.
No matter where you go, you want to tell.
You're a realtor, Chad? What?
All right. Any questions out there from anybody? Let's see here. Somebody does have a question for us.
Yes. Tamra. to Candy's point on sending emails or a newsletter, I had agents with 1,000 people in their CRM. Monthly, they sent a newsletter with a short market update, tips, community news, and some featured listings. This resulted in at least one sale from it each month. That's awesome.
It is awesome. I do a monthly newsletter myself. It's just short, sweet. I kind of talk a little bit about real estate. I talk about my family. I share a recipe and maybe some fun photos in it. And that goes out to everybody in my sphere religiously every month. I've been doing it for years now.
Is that email? How do you get their emails?
From my sphere?
Yeah. Well, just thinking like my
with them.
Well, my phone list.
Well, if I don't have their email, then
Yeah,
I don't get it.
That's what I mean. Like my phone list, I don't have everybody's email.
Well, that's going to be your next chore, Chad. You're going to go get those emails. All right. So yes, just make sure when you are in touch with people, if you're just showing, obviously when we're showing them houses, now we need all that information on the buyer's rep. So you're going to have it with that. But if it's just people you are talking to in general, that could be something. If you don't have email addresses, just reach out to people and say, hey, I would love to get your email address so I can keep you informed on what I'm doing in the real estate world. You're going to get some people that say, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And you're going to have other people that will. And that's all right. Okay, we're going to move on to some other ideas to help stay on top of mind, besides just the emails and some of those things. So, there's so many ways, you guys, we could have a whole another hour or two on just different ideas of how to stay in touch and stay on top of mind for your clients. So I'm just going to share a couple things that I do. First and foremost, I really made a decision I don't do Zillow leads. I have a very, very small payment of realtor.com leads, but I don't buy leads anymore. I used to invest a lot into Zillow. I don't do that anymore because I finally decided that I'm going to invest in my business. I'm going to invest in the people I already have. They're going to be my best referral source. I know they already know me, like me, trust me. So why not utilize them? And a great thing that I like to say is go deeper versus wider. So we're just going to dig deep into our client base versus trying to always find the new. Now you got to try to find the new too, because it does help your business grow also, but multiple ways. All right. So for sure, always try to touch your clients at minimum 4 to 6 times a year at minimum. So I'm just going to start throwing out some ideas to you guys that I do. I do a fall client appreciation party at my own house. Always have a great turnout at that. I have a big bounce house. I have food. I do have a in-ground trampoline that really attracts the kids, but I do family photos at this event. I just set up a nice fall setting for it, and it's just been a great turnout. So I'll go back a second. So when I take my current client sphere, I divide them up. So I have my couples that are married or single, but no kids. They don't want to come to a kid party. I have my families. They're all like-minded. They have little ones running around and no one cares about the craziness. Yep. And then I have my senior population. So I divide them out and then I do events for each one of those sections. Okay. But then I do one whole big party a couple times a year as well. So then I do a bingo party for my seniors. That is probably my favorite event and my best attended. And we're going to really ramp it up this year because it's just, they love to come to that. I do holiday pie giveaway. So I'm doing that actually right now, and I'm partnering that with Christmas party. So we're going to kind of do 2 for 1. Santa's going to be there again, photo opportunity, just making it a great event for the whole family. Let's see here. I do Girl Scout cookies for anybody that bought a house from me that year. So they get Girl Scout cookies.
I saw those boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
And then just general pop buys. You guys, you can go on Pinterest and come up with hundreds of different pop buys. So examples might be, maybe it's 4th of July and you give them a pack of firecrackers and you have a cute little saying with it of, let me light up your world. I don't know, something silly like that. Everybody loves getting stuff. Let's see, what else do I do here? I do a doctor's day for all my doctor clients. I give them a really nice bottle of wine and I hand deliver that. It is now expected of me to do this because one guy was out, he didn't get his bottle of wine and actually got a text message, hey, I didn't get my bottle of wine this year. I'm like, oh, it's in my car. You just weren't at the office. Let's see, what else? I just know I do a lot of things here. I always have gifts in my car. I have a little gift bag in my car, a little gift basket. And if I'm going by a client's house, and one time I did this and her flowers were gorgeous. And I literally just left a clip chip with a candy bar on it and I left it at her doorstop. Then I sent her a text and said, I couldn't help but stop. Your flowers are gorgeous. And again, she just thought that was just the most amazing thing ever. Chad did this right away. And of course, everybody has their own budget, you guys, so you got to keep that in mind. If you can't afford it, it's okay. There are so many free things you can do. But Chad, what's one of the 5 first things you did when you got your license?
Moved us. Oh, yeah. So had to remind me there. Yeah. I went out and I bought a bunch of personalized items. So chip clips, my favorite's a pizza cutter. You were even a little jealous of that.
I was jealous of the pizza cutter. I don't have any.
A few other things, and I got little gift bags, and I went to all my really close sphere friends, if you will, and I gave them all a bag, and they're all like, a pizza cutter with your name on it, so I get pictures from them, and that's a top of mind thing. Like
it is totally.
So the pizza cutter thing, I doubled down on that. I ordered a ton more, and I've been giving them to. I went to Janesville, small town near Mankato here, and I handed 100 of them out.
Wow.
And somebody that's not even a client sent me a picture of their kid cutting their pizza with it. So the personalized item thing was a really, really good one, actually.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, if it's not in your budget, that's okay. Maybe make it a priority, put it in your budget for 2025. I try to kind of a complete little side note here, but any monies that I receive, part of it goes back into my business. Remember, you got to invest in your business. If you just keep spending your money and not reinvesting it, it's a really hard way to make your business grow. So you want to buy some of those personalized giveaways. I give them away all the time. Like I just keep them in my car, wherever I'm at. If I'm at a restaurant, I'll leave a chip clip on the counter or on the table. So it's just great ways to
my
do
wife
things.
Cannot stand the things I leave behind at restaurants.
Another thing that I do is I do a lot of handwritten notes. So I have personalized cards. They're just blank. Front of it is just a silly picture of me, probably standing, posing, whatever I'm doing.
Cool.
And then the inside is empty, and I just write a lot of personalized notes. So maybe it's something I see on Facebook about a client. I'll either DM them or I'll hand them or I'll write them a personal note. I always go Mankato has a couple different magazines that come out, and I always go through them. And if somebody's being spotlighted in there, or they started a new job, or they started a new company, I'll handwrite them a personal note. Now, if you're Mankato, you can't really do that because we're going to get, notes from 3 different agents in Mankato. So again, find your own thing that works for you guys. But if you guys get the paper, maybe Mankato doesn't have a paper, but if you do have a local paper, always be going through that. What is something you can highlight? And it doesn't have to be people in your sphere. Like I said, I do it to people I don't even know. I'll just send them a note and say, hey, great article in the Minnesota River Valley magazine.
Yeah.
I often get a text message back saying, hey, thanks for taking time out of your day to do that. Are they going to remember me when they want to sell a house or buy a house? I don't know, but it's just something that I do. Another big thing that I do is I do a mortgage giveaway. I did take this idea from another agent in our office. I got permission and I expanded on it. So I do 21 days worth of giveaways in December. And then I have a big one on Christmas Eve day, I think is when I do it. I have to remember that. I think it's Christmas Eve day. And I give a 1-month mortgage giveaway.
I'm signing up.
No, you have to buy a house with me. So it's just all of my clients. And I think I've done it for 3 years now, and it's amazing.
That's
I
gotta
come
be
to their house. It is. I come with a big check and I present it to them, and there's always tears and hugs involved. And tell me that doesn't go a long ways, you guys. But again, that's just something I like to do. It works within the budget that I have. Let's see here. What are some other things? I'm going through my notes here.
I tried to personalize it down to like, I had a family that he had 4 smokers on his that I sold the house to. And he was talking about all these seasonings, and there was one that he really wanted to try. So when he closed, I brought him a bottle of that seasoning.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, wow, like he'll never forget that. It was just like a $20 bottle of seasoning.
Right. And it goes a long ways. That kind of reminds me a little bit of like, and again, that personal touch would be a closing gift. Agents, I don't know if we're really supposed to be doing it or not, but you should give something showing your appreciation. Okay. So show your appreciation to your clients. You know, if you do nothing, handwritten note thanking them for their business. Always be grateful for that. Okay, let's see here. I'm looking through my notes really quick here. Oh, just one story that I want to share with you is one time I called a client just to check in with them and just see how is life, how are things going. I think they had, well, I know this for sure. They had one that was graduating. Their last one was graduating actually, and she was so sad to have her last one leave the house. That's going to be me in next year. But I checked in with her like it was like December, January, somewhere in there. And she said, Candy, perfect timing. Because she said, we literally this weekend were just talking, this house is too big. Kids are clearly not coming back anymore. We need to downsize. I sold their house in the spring, bought them a patio home. I'm not saying they went to call me, but what a great story for just plain checking in with them. So when she said, oh, perfect timing, your ears must have been buzzing, and they weren't, but I knew it was just somebody I should have called.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm good on that section. Does anybody have any questions on anything?
Well, while we wait, if they have any questions, to back to your point of calling and like the anniversaries and things like that. So the morning after selling a house, I called and I asked them how their first night was, and they said, well, we're actually cooking breakfast with one of their parents and was over, and I heard the mom in the background. What's his name? I want to sell my house. And they thought it was cool that I called. And I'm showing them houses right now, and they want to sell their house. That's same situation. So yeah, so the call works. And they've already signed, buyer rep, and we've looked at 2 or 3 houses, and
that's perfect.
They have a really nice house that they want to sell. So I've been you got them a price on that they're happy with, and that one call, not even to them.
Yep, just to check in.
It's a touch, and it was a good one. So
another thing I just kind of thought of that I do, again, everybody has their own budget, but I do pizza delivered to their house. They get to pick what the pizza is. They get some sodas delivered as well as part of that.
I copied that.
And that
I do
Chad
that too.
just said he copied that.
I do that too.
But it goes a long ways, so you're spending, I don't even know what the bill is. Let's just call it $100. I don't know for sure. It really goes a long ways, because often think of that moving day. It's crazy and you don't even know where your food is or how to cook it. So to have that fresh hot pizza delivered on the day that you move into your house after you've been really busy, just really goes a long way. Again, make these things your own. These are just ideas that you can build off of. And if anybody does have further questions, if you don't want to ask it today, always just reach out to me. Okay, so next we're going to talk about is leveraging your community involvement for trust. And I think the key trust is, or the word trust is just the key word there. You don't want to get involved in the community events just to do them, just to have your face out there and your name out there. You really have to pick the ones that are near and dear to your heart. I know some agents, they're in 5, 6, 7, 10 different organizations, and they're always volunteering for this and volunteering for that and asking for donations for this and donations for that. And you just know they're in it just to be in it. They're not in it because it's near and dear to their heart. So what I do is the beginning of the year, my husband and I will pick 1 or 2 foundations or organizations that we want to donate to. Maybe if we're short on cash, we say this is our year. We're not going to give maybe a monetary donation, but we're going to volunteer our time.
Yep.
And then we get our kids involved in it, and that just really goes a long ways. So some of the different things that I have been involved in or done that have, got me some things, just publication about it. I'm not saying I actually got someone to come and list their house or buy a house with me because of it, but where I'm at, I think it was 2 years ago. I don't think it was last year. I did the frozen pants for the homeless. And first of all,
I remember that.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Carla was helping me with it so she could get some great photos. We were freezing our backsides off and laughing so hard just to get the frozen pants to stand and the whole thing. Anyways, that went a little viral. I was able to donate a lot of money. I matched what was donated, and that went a long ways. And that is near and dear to me because I don't want people homeless in the cold. I mean, I just knew what it was like. I even had a Canadian Goose jacket on and I was still freezing. So imagine them without.
Yeah.
There's a place in Mankato that has, I think it's the outreach program that has scarves that get attached to a fence. I've done some of that where I've brought my own to there. I do so much of this stuff, but pickleball, I love pickleball. And I think people in Mankato have kind of caught on that I love to play pickleball.
It's not that obvious.
And so I do make a huge donation to the Pickle Barn every year. And when they have fundraisers out there, I make a donation as well. They're a young couple that is starting this Pickle Barn, and I think it's just a great place for Mankato.
It is.
Let's see, I'm involved in Young Life. I used to have kids in it. I don't anymore, but we still sponsor a child every now and then. Again, it's not an annual thing, but I'll sponsor a child to go to a camp. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that, but that just makes a change in someone's lives. I do golf tournaments in Mankato. We have a Mankato Clinic Foundation. I bring my big old moving van out there, and everyone does look forward to that to see what am I going to be doing? Am I going to have a game out there? And people do look forward to me being there. Kids sporting events, I'll donate. I don't donate in a big way to that, like meaning I don't have signage everywhere. We just do a little bit more when we'll buy a kid's uniform or we'll pay for like the registration for that. And I have had one family that has come back and have me help them buy a house. So that was kind of a fun story. I'm on boards of the Cada House. That is definitely near and dear to me. I have a personal story with that one, and I will owe them forever on that one.
Yeah,
So
Cada House is
House.
a very cool organization and a big issue.
Yeah.
So
For people that aren't in Mankato, it's a women's shelter, basically. Yes. But I have a great story as to why that one's near to me. So if you ever want to hear it, just reach out to me. I'll tell you. I'm on the board of directors of the YMCA. That's new to me this year. I worked at the YMCA for many years as a personal trainer in my past life. So I feel it's just kind of time for me to give back. My kids kind of grew up there, so I love being on that. Get involved in your builders association. It's just a great way to make connections with other people in the trades. So you want to, because I have stories about this. I think that's on my next note here. But I do have get involved with your builder association. You need to know your trades. You need to know people that are building the houses in Mankato, in your area. My biggest organization that I got involved with was the senior center here in Mankato, and I'm still very actively involved in that. So I used to go to the Vine Center and just volunteer my time there. Well, I still do that as well. I do the senior expos. So if you like that senior group, that is a great place to be. This year alone, I picked up 3 clients. Nice. And I've already closed on their houses. And that was in September. I think we did that. So that's a great place. My first year I didn't. It was kind of building that relationship, Right. But I will tell you, if you're going to do it, you got to spend, I don't even know. I'm going to say probably $1,000 on giveaways because that's what they come for. They just want the giveaways, but that's okay. If my chip clip's going to be in their house, I'm okay with that.
They love free stuff.
They do. Mankato has a local, It's not a professional baseball league, but maybe a semi-professional, right? Anyways, so
right.
have you not seen my skills? No.
Oh.
Anyways, so I'm a sponsor there. I do is the home run sponsor of that. And am I the home run or just a run? I think I'm just a run. Yeah, I think I'm a run. Anyways, so I get tickets for that. So I get tickets to every single game. I can't go to every single game. So I give those tickets away. Another thing I do is you can be a sponsor at something. You know, every town has sponsors. They're always looking for sponsors. Give the tickets away to people. If you can't go, that's okay. Often I think it's better if you give your tickets to someone else because they're going to remember that you gave them the tickets. Another place that I like, again, this year was a place that we chose, my husband and I, was Mankato Place. It's for people outside of Mankato, it's a center for kids to come to after school in a school program that they don't have a home life to go home to, and parents can't afford to have them in daycare of any sort. So I am constantly running to Sam's Club and donating food there. A little bit goes a long ways, and we've done some volunteer opportunities there as well.
That's the first one that I did because you invited me to come, and that was, I mean, it was hard to see, but very nice to help those kids and give them something exciting to look forward to. So that was a great start. So thanks for inviting me to that.
Yeah, that was
and shooting me with a Nerf gun.
That's a little side story that we had a little war.
Ask about that. That's a good one.
Let's see here. And another thing that I do is I'm in our local parade and I love it. I bring my candy van and we throw out all kinds of candy and some giveaways. Thanks to Brian at Atwood Mortgage, we give away backpacks. It is the craziest 2 hours of my life running through that parade, but it is just great awareness. Like I'm playing, I want candy songs. So I have a great name to kind of go with some things on that.
I haven't found a song for Chad.
But I'm literally running through the parade. People are like, candy, candy, candy. Yeah. So sometimes I think they're asking for candy and other times they just want to take a picture with me. But it's just, again, you get in front of so many people and I have gotten business that way. So again, you guys be you, but find something that works for you. Beginning of the year when you're doing your business plan, which is probably a whole nother meeting, right? Mm-hmm. But you're going to want to call out some of those things that you want to do to stay top of mind to not only the sphere you've actually worked with, but potential other people as well. All right. Chad.
We kind of talked about it. My place was kind of my first one.
Okay.
But over in Janesville, again, my small town, I kind of go back to that's where I'm from. Last year I sponsored the Fire Association's golf tournament, and it wasn't a big sponsorship, but chip clips and things like that. And I don't know that I necessarily got any calls on it.
That's okay.
But it's a start.
Yeah.
And again, they're going to see it top of mind.
Absolutely.
If they're like me, they're in the chip drawer all the time. So if they're using it for chips, for me, if I was using yours, I mean, it'd be like every day. So talk about top of mind. I think that might be the best thing ever.
As he said that, I did have a client, a potential client, I guess, we haven't signed any contracts yet, but he is selling his parents' house and he is from another state. How do you think he found to call me? He was digging through a drawer and found my chip clips.
There you go.
He's like, my mom has like 4 or 5 of these things, so I guess I probably should call her. So those do go a long ways. Yes. All right. So any questions on some of that? Any questions out there? Doesn't look like it, right? No. Okay. All right. Sounds good. We're going to cover a few more things. I really want you to focus on building relationships with your lenders, contractors, and other business owners. Again, when you get involved in the community, well, I'm going to go back to kind of the heading here is grow your referrals through partnerships and local connections. So if we go back just a little bit of how we were getting involved in different organizations, excuse me, some of that comes with building relationships with people as well. So probably one of my 2 top people that I build a relationship with are landscapers and painters. Because when someone's going to think about putting their house on the market, what do you think they do? They start getting their house ready. Yep. So, we're always preaching curb appeal and first impressions. So I do get business from my landscaper. I had to help him with a script. Oh. And so I just said, hey, when you're going out to someone's house and you're doing landscaping, can you just ask them, why are we sprucing up your house? And if they say, well, it's because I'm getting my house ready and thinking about selling it in the fall or the spring or the summer, whatever season it's going to be, that he just says, well, if you don't have a realtor yet, I have a great realtor I work with, and he has business cards in his car for me, and he hands them out. I've gotten some business that way. Painters are another great one, because same thing. People want to give their house a fresh coat of paint, which we are very grateful for. And yes. The painter says the same thing. Why are we painting your house? Well, I'm going to be selling it. Great. Here's a realtor, and he'll give out my card. So you find the things that work for you. I just happen to have really great connections with my landscaper and the painter that I use. Some other ideas that I have relationships with are moving companies. Mankato has a company that does kind of like a complete clean out, move out, mainly for elderly. But I've gotten business from him where he goes in and same thing. He meets with them. Where are we moving to? Oh, well, mom moved to an assisted living or passed away. Great. If you don't have a realtor, here's her card. Also build relationships with those assisted living facilities. So when I go to the Vine Expo or the Senior Expo, sorry, there's all kinds of assisted living facilities there. So I'm always giving stuff to them, building those relationships. You can't be with all of them. So just pick a couple of your favorites and still build relationships with them. I've actually sold 1, 2, 3, I think 3 or 4 houses with actually the staff that works there. Nice. Maybe not necessarily the people that are moving in and out, but with the staff. So build those relationships there. Let's see here. I belong to a business networking group. It's called BNI. I'm sure you've all have heard of them. Now I know they're hard to get into because there's one seat for one profession, but be on the list to get into a BNI group. I won't say I've got a ton of business necessarily right from my group, like people in the group selling, but they're referring me out to other people. Yep. So the business does come around. And then once they refer you, then they're referring their family, and it just kind of keeps on giving. So even if you have a BNI group in your area, go to a meeting, show interest. There's an open networking opportunity there. You can talk about who you are and what your business is. You can hand out your business cards. You can go as a visitor. And then just tell somebody in the group, usually the president or vice president, that if there's ever an opening, you would be interested in taking a spot or being interviewed for it. So that's just an idea. I'm sure every community has different types of networking opportunities. So get into those, your chamber, your young professionals. I'm too old to be young professional.
I'm gonna write that down. Maybe I'll do that.
What one?
Young professionals.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, better do it before you get old. Let's see here. Okay, so those are just some of those ideas on building relationships with your lenders, contractors, and your business owners. Do you have any other suggestions?
I'm here to listen because I'm learning a lot.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so I think just to kind of, does anybody have any questions before we move on? All right, we're near the end, you guys. Hang tight if you're still engaged. So we want to engage your sphere for a long-term success. And hopefully everything that we've gone over kind of ties it together. If you're like me, when I listen to these things, I'm frantically writing, all these notes. I really want to offer for you guys to reach out to me. Give me a call, send me a text message, email me, whatever it might be. Actually, I already have an agent from Albert Lee that I'm going to meet with next week, and I'm super excited to visit with him. But so some takeaways here that I want to talk about is be a relationship builder, not a salesperson. Don't be a salesperson. It will come. Build those relationships. The only way to build the relationships is touch on your people, love on your clients. Relationships aren't transactional, they're ongoing. So again, we don't say past clients because they're always going to be your clients. Unless they tell you to get lost, they're always going to be your clients. Find the authentic ways to stay in touch, whether it be social media, small events, your personal touches, DM somebody if they see they did something fun or good or even sad on Facebook, just DM them. I like your idea of capturing their birthdays, because I don't always get their birthdays, so that's kind of a cool idea.
I'm not perfect at it, but I'm getting better at it.
Hey, small steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use the tools like AGENT21 gives you guys. Use the Moxie Engage to organize your follow-ups and track the progress. At the end of the year, you want to know how many people did I do business with that were actually in my sphere. And again, if they're not in your system, you're not going to have a way to track that. Then you can't build on your business plan for the following year.
Right.
And business plan, I hope that's not like a Greek word to most of you. You should be knowing what a business plan is and working on those. If not, same thing. We should probably have a little conversation about that. So a final thought for me, again, is go deeper, not wider. Use the people that you already have in your system. Just build on those, love on them. Your network is your net worth. Every interaction you have with your sphere today is an investment in your future business. Such a strong, powerful statement. Stay consistent, stay authentic, and the results will follow you. I promise you. Okay. Anybody have any questions on anything so far? We're almost done. I have one assignment for you guys. Okay.
I'm used to these. These are fun.
One assignment. I want you, let's see, how many people are on this call? 22?
Yep.
Okay. So from 22 of you, well, maybe Lori probably wouldn't do this. And well, anyways, you know if you're going to do it. So I want you to take one actionable item or step to grow your sphere this week. Now I know we're Thursday, so I'll let you go into next week. I want you to get out your phone. You're going to take a selfie and say, hey, Candy, this week I'm going to reach out to 5 clients every single day. And you're going to send it to me. My number is 507-327-5006. You're going to text that to me, and I'm going to check in with you at the end of the week and make sure you did that task. All right. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions? I've been asking that a lot. I just want to make sure if you have one, we answer it. Oh, and I see Carla put my number in the chat too, if you didn't quite get that.
I was about to do that, so.
Oh, Chad, you're a step behind. Yeah. Do you have any additional closing comments?
I don't. I always try to keep learning. And I think that's the biggest thing is there's always something new, right?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to pivot. Keep learning. And like you said, you have to spend money to make money, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, you do. But again, that's your budget. It might be $50 next year. It might be $5,000. Who knows?
And
you determine that.
Thank you for sharing what has made you successful. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Go out and be successful, be happy, healthy, and strong.
And relentless. Let's be relentless.
And relentless. Yeah, there you go.
That's one of my favorite slogans.
Bye, everybody.